In this video, we are going to prove that many Palestinians do not care about Palestine and how, if you're a terrorist, the safest place for you might be America. Everybody knows about the fires that broke out yesterday. It was massive news around the world. Israel hasn't seen a wildfire like this ever. People running for their lives, abandoning cars in the middle of the highway. And while Israel spent the last 24 hours battling the flames, which are still ongoing, Palestinian accounts, Muslim accounts, and anti-Semitic accounts on social media were not cheering for the firefighters. They weren't cheering for the health workers or the emergency crews trying to save the Holy Land from burning. No. They were cheering for the fire. They were praying for stronger winds and for faster destruction. The Palestinians, who spent all these years claiming that this land is sacred, that it's their home, that it's worth dying for, are now openly calling for its destruction. Palestinian jihad accounts on Telegram even posted flyers urging Palestinians to take to the fields and forests with tissue paper and lighters to burn as much land as possible. Does that sound like people who believe this land is sacred? It reminds me of the story of King Solomon when two mothers approached him fighting over a baby. The fake mother, the one who didn't actually care for the child, told Solomon that she would rather see the child die than be given to the real mother. If I can't have him, no one will. But the true mother said, better he live, even if it's with somebody else. Today, Palestinians have proven that they are the fake mother. They would rather burn down the so-called Palestine itself, torch every field, every forest, than to see a Jew living in this land. They don't care that Israel spent decades transforming the desert into farmable land, building clean water systems or restoring forests, systems that also benefit Palestinians and Christians and all Muslims in PA-controlled areas. They don't care about prosperity. They don't care about the land. They only care about destroying what the Jews have built. And today, on Israeli Independence Day, it's the perfect reminder of why we fight and what we're fighting for. Yes, Israel is a country with a government and policies and constant political debates. No, not everyone is on board with the state of Israel as an institution. But beyond all of that, it's the Jewish homeland. Forget the state. The ground itself is holy. The people themselves are holy. It doesn't matter if you're left-wing, right-wing, religious, secular. A Jew is a Jew. The great sages always knew that the secret to Jewish success is to love each other, and the lack of love and collaboration is what has caused both the first and second temple destructions. Seeing Palestinians cheer for the burning of their own homeland, hurting their own people, just to hurt Jews is not resistance. That is pure evil. Not to mention, completely not pragmatic. It's a total bastardization of everything real and everything sacred. In other news, Mohsen Mahdawi, a Palestinian activist from Columbia University, was released by a federal judge yesterday. Mahdawi has become a symbol for Palestinian resistance in the United States, rallying crowds to support Hamas and chant death to Israel. But according to court filings from the Trump administration, Mahdawi once told the owner of a Vermont gun store that he had, quote, considerable firearm experience. Why? Because he used them to kill Jews while he was in Palestine. In a separate conversation with another gun enthusiast, he told them, plain and simple, again, it's in the report, I like to kill Jews. That's a direct quote. And now, despite all that, he walks free. This is what happens when terror is mainstreamed in America. You can openly admit to killing Jews, you can openly incite violence, and not only do you get away with it, you're treated like a hero. But let's be real, once they're done with Israel, they're coming for the U.S. next. At the annual Bible contest, where kids from all different schools compete in complex Bible knowledge, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu spoke. In his speech, he offered words of encouragement and motivation to the Jewish people. But one interesting point stood out above all the others. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said, we have many goals in this war, including bringing home the remaining hostages from Gaza. It is a very important goal, he said, but there is a superior goal. The supreme goal is victory over our enemies, and that, he said, we will certainly achieve. Yes, we want the hostages returned. Yes, it's important. But Netanyahu holds the position that stopping the war for a hostage exchange would be handing Hamas exactly what they want, and that under no circumstances can that be allowed to happen. U.S. President Donald Trump sent a letter wishing Israel a happy Independence Day, according to the office of President Isaac Herzog, saying that through conflict and peace, the United States remains your steadfast partner, and that he is also very proud of all that the U.S. and Israel have accomplished together. He added that he looks forward to deepening the Israel relationship with the United States. Venezuelan detainees at Texas's Bluebonnet facility formed an SOS as they are getting increasingly fearful of deportation to El Salvador under a new wartime law. They are acutely aware that while they are playing soccer in the U.S. prison system, the treatment that awaits them overseas in El Salvador is entirely different. The government in El Salvador has opened a new mega prison in 2023 to house the infinitely growing number of gang members. El Salvador is working around the clock to clean up their streets. The prisoners being deported from the U.S. know very well that they will not be playing soccer in El Salvador anytime soon. Maybe the United States can learn a thing or two about how to deal with gangs and terrorists. The fact that you can commit heinous criminal actions in the U.S., then go get a free bed, 3 meals per day, yard privileges, phone privileges, and a snazzy red jumpsuit, all for free, sounds like a great deal to me. There's no question that you are safer as a terrorist in the U.S. In Iran, they publicly hang you. In the U.S., you get death by soccer. This has been Overnight Israel. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. For jfeed.com, I'm Simcha Brodsky. Catch you next time.